Hi friends, it's Liz here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have, I guess, an update about my shop. I've got some clusters that I'm going to be showing you. I guess embellishments for journals, as well as, I guess, give you details on my latest giveaway. So stay tuned if you want to craft with me while I chat along. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say, of course, is thank you so much for joining me today. Today is Tuesday, March 31st. I don't think I usually give you guys a date of when I'm working on things. I'm going to try and start doing that now because I think it's, at this point, basically we're documenting what's happening in our world. And I think it's something that will be interesting because, you know, one day we'll look back at this and see what was happening and what our situation was. But on a lighter note for now, what I'm going to be showing you today is how to make some of these awesome clusters for your work, your journals, your snail mail, etc., etc. But a quick update about my latest giveaway. I will have the winners' names in the description box of that video. I will link it below if you entered and you want to see if you've won. The reason I'm going to start doing that is because it'll be easier for me to keep track of who has won what giveaway. And it's just, you know, easier for me to look back and see who the winners were for those things that I did. So check that video after you watch this one if you want to see if you've won. About my giveaways, there's another one coming up. I do try to do a giveaway every month, so we'll see how that goes. I can definitely plan more now that we're home. I just don't know as far as getting out and, you know, going to the post office. So before I start chatting about everything else, I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here, and then hopefully I'll remember what the next little information is that I have to share with you. Excuse me. So these clusters, I love them so much. Of course, I've seen many people make, you know, different kinds of snippets, they're called, or, oh my gosh, what are the other names for these? I'm sure I'll remember as I'm working on them. But the most recent one that I saw was a lady by the name of Kathleen Sundby. I will link her channel below. I got so inspired by, you know, what I saw what she was doing. And so I kind of came up with a bunch of these ones, which I will take you through and show you how to make some of them as well in this video. So the clusters are, I mean, there's different kinds. The ones that I've made, I know she kind of sews things with her sewing machine, and I wanted to make some that were not necessarily that you didn't really need a sewing machine, because I know a lot of you don't necessarily have a sewing machine that you can stitch things with. So I'm just going to give you a little peek here. This is my spring journal I'm working in. So this is one of the snippets that I kind of added to this envelope. I do have a video showing you guys how I make this one. Again, not my ideas, but just my versions of them and how I've made them. I will also link that one below. And as you can see how just it really adds a nice touch to, you know, any project if you add a little cluster of something to them. So that's this. And then the other clusters that I'm showing you are these little tucks here, which are kind of double-sided. So if you see how it kind of, you know, kind of carries from one end to the other, from one page to the other. I absolutely fell in love with that because it's a way to decorate 2 pages at once. So anyways, another one that I have here, I haven't quite added it in yet. And what I mean by that is I haven't attached it to the page. So see how it comes off? You can leave these as, you know, embellishments that you can move from page to page or take out. But then you can also attach them like I did with the front one here, which I am in love with these clusters or snippets or whatever you want to call them. So let me just show you some of the ones I've done. They're so fun to make. And the other thing I love about this project is using up your scraps. So for example, this one here is like a belly band. Or, you know, it could go to like at the bottom of a page or something. So again, if I'm just taking this as a sample page, you know, it could go to the top of a page, bottom as a little tuck spot, etc. And I made this one just with leftover cardstock. So you know, sometimes when you're printing out your digitals and you have like things left over on the edges, I just save all those pieces like this one here. And what I did is I kind of added, you know, to the printed part, which I may not be using, this kind of cluster that has laces and fabrics and paper and this little paper flower, etc. So that's one there. This one I just did with book pages, and again, I'm just loving using book pages for everything. So this one's just layers of different cute things on a book page backing. And again, this can just be attached to any page in any way that you want, to the corners, etc. I think I have another sample here of how I've added one. Yep. So there's another one that I added to this page. So you can see just how beautiful that it just gives it such interest and texture. And that's what I love about this project. So that's another one that I made. These ones I made with doilies as bases. Now, I don't know if she was using doilies. I don't think she has. I think she uses like pages in her work, but, and what I mean by that is she just kind of does a lot of things with not book pages, just card, I guess, paper, like, you know, leftover paper bits. But anyways, I wanted to do the doily ones. Like I said, I don't remember. I saw this video a long time ago, and I just kind of started crafting and making these things. So again, this one's with a doily, and it's that kind of double-sided one that you would put onto a page. And I should have had a page to show you guys every time I'm doing this. I do have a page. So, you know, you would attach this to your page, and you can kind of see how it looks on both sides. Now, again, I made this one with a doily and lots of different beautiful layers, transparent layers. And then this one has like a fabric top to it. And this one I made with half a doily, and then the backing was just, you know, leftover coffee stained paper. And again, that one would just be attached to anything, really. I mean, I love that you can attach them to anything. So I think today I'm going to show you how to make a couple of them, and let me just show you what else I've done with this. One's like a long kind of belly band style. I made a few smaller doily ones, which I think I might show you some doily ones today, as well as these ones made with like just a flat surface. Yeah, so you guys, I'm having so much fun with these. Love, love, love it. Don't forget to check out Kathleen's channel for how she makes hers. Like I said, I know she does a lot of stitching in her, the ones that she's made. So gather your goodies, and by that I mean you're going to need some, you know, leftover paper scraps. I'm kind of going with some colors and some neutrals as well. What I like about it is adding a little bit of this kind of thin paper as well, like napkins, and that's sewing pattern paper. These ones here I got from Jenny. Hi Jenny. She sends me these really nice sheets. She has sent me some before, and in her recent mail she sent me some of these, and I'm just kind of using the leftover bits to add as well. But I'll show you how I'm putting them together. Grab yourself some, you know, remnants of fabrics, laces, whatever it is that you think you're going to use, and of course your nice giant you know, bins of goodies and leftover bits that you might have, because that's what's going to make a lot of these the bases here. So let's get started, and let me just see which ones I'm going to start with. I think I'm going to try and do maybe a doily one. So you know what, I'm going to gather a couple just so that I remember what I'm doing. I'm going to make a doily one that wraps around, or at least I'm going to try to, depending on the time of the video, etc. Of course you can make it with a larger doily, but I'm going to be using the small ones that I have right now. I might show you a cluster one that just kind of sits on top with just, you know, regular papers. One of these two might come out. And then if I have time, I'll kind of make a few more. So let's see. The first thing I'm going to start with is a base. So let's start with a very easy one, because I think everybody has these kind of things around their, you know, their home. So this is just a remnant of a book page that I think I'm going to use as my base. And what I'm doing for mine is I'm kind of trying to start my layers from top to bottom, or you can do it either way, really. And I'm not even sure which way I'm going to start here. So I've also got some bits of, you know, leftover cards, scrapbook paper, digital papers, book page, and stuff like that. This is like vintage wallpaper. This is for color, and I'm thinking like I like the color contrast sort of in between most of the neutral layers, because I think what makes these work is kind of how you balance the neutrals and the colors. So just from following the one I've done here, I've got some neutrals in the back, some colors, and you can just see there's just different bits and pieces kind of layered together. I hope I'm close enough for you guys to see all the different layers. So I'm going to start with just like a dark layer here. Let me just pull out my paper bits. I thought I had like a nice neutral to show you. Oh, you know what? I am going to use this kind of like paper bag for the back. So I hope you guys are doing well. You know, we're going on, I think, 2 weeks at my home of us kind of trying to self-isolate. I mean, you know, we do go out for groceries and stuff, but that's really what we're limiting our outings to at this point, because, you know, we're trying to follow the guidelines of staying home as much as possible. And so that's what we're trying to do as much as we can. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys watch me kind of try and put this one together and see how it works out. Yeah, about the, oh, you know what, another thing too, I just wanted to say how exciting it is to know that there are so many countries watching my videos. Oh my gosh, you guys, I got so excited when I asked that in my giveaway video. I had asked if you could tell me where you're watching me from. And oh my goodness, I had no idea. Okay, so I've got people watching me from, or subscribers, thank you so much, from, of course, Canada, my neighbors in the US. So many of you are in the US, but I also have so many friends from Australia, Italy, Trinidad, Ireland, Scotland, Costa Rica, Germany, Egypt, Vienna. I wrote these down, guys, because I would not remember. The Philippines, Norway, Sweden, England, Denmark, Spain, Turkey, Japan, Belgium. These are the ones that that I was able to write down because you know, you guys had left me those details, and I can't believe it. And it's so exciting, you guys, because I had no idea of, you know, the many places that my videos are reaching, and it's so exciting to be able to connect with you guys this way. Oh my goodness gracious, like I am just beyond excited about that. The fact that there's so many of you in so many places, and thank you so much for letting me know where you are watching from, because that is just so exciting to know. Oh my gosh, it was just so exciting to read all the places. I am beyond excited, beyond happy, and grateful that you guys are watching my channel. I really appreciate it. And of course, your comments, your wonderful comments, you know, it's just fabulous. So you can just see here, I just kind of ripped out a piece from, you know, something I think I had cut out in my, in a die cut. So I just save those pieces if they're kind of large enough that I can kind of do a layer. So I'm kind of liking this. I am not sure. I like the layer of kind of sheerness to them. I think that just gives it a little extra. I'm just going to cut this one down a little bit because I don't need that much. I just need it to kind of show, and also kind of, I think, kind of cover a few of the pieces, but, you know, still gives it a little, you can still see them is what I'm trying to say. So if you can just see how I'm layering them, it's, the way she did it as well, she kind of angled them in different ways. So you see a little bit popping out of everything, which I like. I did have, yes, so I was playing around with my paper punches and I didn't really do this right. So I just kind of saved the pieces because they didn't come out properly, and I think they just look fabulous. Don't you think? I love that. And then I thought I had cut some of these up, but I don't know if I'm going to use them. They might not. No, you know what? Fabric. Okay, I said fabric. So yeah, so back to where you guys are watching me from. Oh my goodness, my friends, I am honored and excited to be, you know, part of your viewing, um, your viewing time wherever you are at. I'm so excited that you guys shared those places with me where you're watching from. I kind of like this piece of kind of lace, whatever it is, and this is just moving around. The other thing I kind of forgot to get right now, and I might have somewhere here, is a paper clip, because I find that a paper clip helps you kind of hold things in place while you're kind of playing around with your shapes. Okay, so I'm okay with this. I'm liking it. I see a number peeking through there. I'm going to move it so that I can see a little bit of the letters or the words from the page as well. And then I'm just going to take my stapler, and I hope this doesn't shake the camera too much. And then this is just to hold some of the pieces in place. I will add some glue if I need to later, etc. But I think for now, I like how that came out. Don't you think it's just so awesome? And it's just layering leftover bits, you guys. I absolutely love that. Okay, so I'm going to put this one in my little pile of goodies that I just finished showing you. And then moving on to this, so I did this one in two separate ways. This doily, I folded in half, and then that's how you see that there. And then this one is just the leftover piece of paper that I added half a doily and the layers as well. So I think I'm going to start with, I have a couple doilies here, or a few. I'll start with a doily that you can kind of fold in half. I think that'll be easier. Again, you don't need to use a doily. You could use, you know, a piece of paper to fold in half. And let me just go back to how I did the paper one. Where do I have a paper one, or did I just use that up? I think I used that one up. So maybe I'll try and show you both if I can. I'm just going through my little bits. Yeah, so I'm going to show you this kind of half kind of doily first. So basically you take your doily, you fold that in half, okay? And I hope you can see this one because it's one of the tinier doilies. And then again with the layers. So for this particular one, I have some of this green kind of paper. And what I wanted to make sure to do for these ones is that you could still see the outline of the doily, and see how I just kind of bend that over, and then on the other side it's kind of popping out. We can cut that off later if we need to. And for now, let me just grab this paper clip just so that it stays in place while I look for the other. So here, if you can see the layers, I have a few layers of paper and then a little bit of lace on the top. So I think I'm going to go that same route, and maybe I'll use some of this music paper on this one. I had previously just kind of gathered some pieces because I knew I didn't want to keep looking for everything as I was chatting with you guys. So I'm angling them sort of, you know, up and down, if you can see what I'm saying. So the back, you can kind of see how that's looking kind of layers popping out everywhere, and that's kind of what gives it that little bit of I don't know, I don't even know what to call it, but you know what, let me just find another one because I like this one better than this green one. So this is kind of another one that I had made. Similar things, again, just folding kind of paper over, which, I mean, how fun is that, right? So I have that there. I might add, there's another little neutral piece that I might add something. This is like coffee stained paper, and I'm thinking I don't mind that, so maybe I'll add a little bit of that. Again, I'm just trying to sort of angle them, but I still want to see the other paper that I have there. And see, with the paper clip, it kind of helps you see what you're doing. And then I'm just going to rip that out. So I've got that there. And then I really like the wallpaper. This is vintage wallpaper. So I'm thinking I like the flower and I like that color. So I might just go with that. And again, I'm just trying to fold over so that you can, oh, I like how that looks there too. Maybe I'll flip it over this way. Yes, I think I'm going to go that route. And then I'll just cut off a little bit here because I do want to see those kind of roses that are sticking out there. See that there? And then if you see the other side, you see the layers again. Now this green one is a little too long, so I will be cutting that a little bit, hopefully not too much. So I wanted to talk, my friends, about my shop. I had kind of closed it because I wanted to not be so much of a burden right now to the post office. And, you know, excuse me, every little bit helps, right? So I had thought, you know, it would be best to give them a break and not have to handle my packages, which are not really a priority at this point. So that's what I had done. But I ended up opening it up today. And what I'm doing with that is I'm just going to be shipping items once a week for now. That's it. I'm not going to do more just because I don't want to kind of overwhelm the system. You know, I kind of want packages that need to go out, but of course my ladies in my consignment shop, I'm sure would also like to have, you know, a little bit of extra cash if they need it at this point. So I thought I would open it back up. But like I said, just kind of, I'll be shipping things once a week. So I hope you guys are, you know, are okay with that. I just thought I would mention that because it has since been opened. Okay, so you see how that came out. And then the last thing that I will do, oh, I think I just put the paper clip in there accidentally. The last thing that I'm going to do is clip it. So the easiest way, and I'm just kind of fiddling with it right now just to make sure that I have sort of even bits at the top and bottom. And I'm just, for now, I'm just doing one kind of staple. And you can see how that's still open. And where is my page? So, see how that kind of came out? So, this is just kind of for me to hold it in place. You can always just leave it with a paper clip and then staple it onto your page if you want to once you're finished with that. So, there is that one. And let me just do one more with you guys, I think. I mean, I don't know how much more you guys might want to see, but I'll do one more. This one is just using, you know, a book page or a leftover paper bit that you have. So I'm thinking I'll use, I was actually even thinking of using like a Michael's receipt. I don't know. Will it work? Let's try it. For this one, I did cut a doily in half, because I just wanted to see a little bit peeking out, but okay, this is probably not the paper for the one I'm working on, but that would be okay. Now, these lines are a little too straight for my liking. I like how this page came out, so maybe what I'm going to do is instead of that that cardstock sheet, because it's, I don't want to rip that up. It could be a nice tag. I'm just going to get a piece of book page, which I'm sure we all have lots of book pages. It doesn't have to be your great vintage stuff because you're basically covering it all up. And then I'm just going to cut the edges off so that it gives me a nice edge that has a tear to it, because I think it's just the lines, right, that give it shape, all the kind of mishmash. So see how that's going there. Of course, keep these because you can add them to something else. And again, I just did layers here. So I've got my, oh, right. So, excuse me. I also have this little bit of napkin. Excuse me. And I like that I don't have to, like, you know, decoupage or anything. I can just add it to, see how nice that looks? I'm sure we all have napkins of different kinds as well. And then I think I might use some of that little green paper again. Now, these ones are not leftover bits, but they are meant to be used in projects. So I'm going to just take a little bit of that and kind of add that cluster to it there, or that, sorry, add it to the top. And again, I'm just sort of seeing how it's looking. I may change it up, I may leave it. I do like this piece, but then, yeah, I think I might go with that piece. It's just what I happen to pull out. I wanted to sort of have some papers ready to show you guys when I was, you know, kind of doing the crafting bit. I didn't want to grab my bin and have to go through each bit until I decided what I was going to use. So I hope that that works for you guys. So there's 2 layers, and then I thought I had more of the oh yeah, there it is. Again, leftover wallpaper bits. I just sort of, if it's a nice large strip, like see how that looks there, I'll just keep them for later projects, and I'm kind of liking that strip there. Again, you can see the doily kind of popping out. I think I'm going to move these layers around. So I'm going to put green at the bottom, a little bit of that at the top. Okay. And again, I'm trying to angle them like she does, but not too much, so that you can kind of see a little bit of everything popping out, but it's not too much. And I kind of like that, but maybe I'll cut this one a bit smaller, just because I don't want so much of it sticking out like that. Okay, so you guys see how that's, let me just grab it to show you a little bit. So it helps also if you kind of hold things in place a little bit more, because then you can kind of see where things are angled, and then you can kind of play around with it a little bit. So I'm liking that. And then I'm thinking a little piece of lace, and I think I like that pink one because it's bringing some of the pinks together. And again, it's just a little snippet. You don't have to use that much. And then we staple that again. Now this one might need either a couple more staples, or it might need to be stitched, entirely up to you. But I just like to do a staple right in the center to cover as much of my layers as possible. And then you can see how, you know, you've got your doily coming out, you've got the different layers of your scrap bits, and now you can just add a nice embellishment to your pages. Love them. So okay, I think that's it for today, my friends. Don't forget to keep an eye out for my next videos. I do have another giveaway that I'm setting up for. Don't forget to check if you have won my last giveaway. I will definitely be sending your package out soon to the winner that is getting a package plus whatever was in the giveaway. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the share. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos, if you want to see me make more of the clusters. Questions, comments, as always, please leave them below, and thank you so much for joining me today.